to hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
Welcome in, Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday, January 26th, second edition of the show, a snow edition of Hoist the Colors. It is a snow day in Greenville, North Carolina, the first time in 3 years we've really had some legitimate snowfall on the ground, and that, of course, means a lot of fun outside times, and that bled into last night, into this morning, so we'll get into that much more on today's edition of the program. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. I'm broadcasting from the home studios, so we will shortly, in our segments 2 and 3, play an interview with Katon Houser, ECU starting quarterback we recorded yesterday, so looking forward to that on today's program. I know a lot of you will look forward to that as well, so we'll have that for you here shortly. Let's introduce today's cast. Philip Pilkington has other duty. He is going to call his first Division I college basketball game. He's going to do ECU women's basketball. The Lady Pirates play Temple today, 2 o'clock tip-off inside Minges Coliseum. That'll be broadcasted live on 94.3 The Game. Philip Pilkington will have the call. So we had to call in a pinch hitter. Dominic Kasulki is producing in the 94.3 The Game studios. Dom, you made it to the studio despite, I know, some little nervousness this morning with the snow, right? You didn't think you would make it initially.
Yeah, if the viewers don't know, I have an '04 Honda Civic, so that's not making it in the snow right now. Even with the work truck, we were kind of slipping and sliding on the ice. There was some ice around my apartment, and I took some pictures of my Honda. Man, it's covered in snow. I think that would take like 30 minutes to warm up, even to want to get on the road.
How far was the drive from where you stay to the studio?
It's probably like well, if there's traffic, it's 15 minutes, but without traffic, probably around 10 to 12 minutes. So yeah, the roads were not good for my type of car.
Well, glad you can make it in, man, and obviously we'll include you into the discussion here in our opening segment and in our final segment. We recorded yesterday with Katon when Philip was in studio, but we'll start with the snow from your perspective. You're a student in East Carolina.
Yep.
And so I think the last time it snowed was 2022, like January. So were you a student then, and do you remember it? How do you celebrate it last night as a student when because we keep hearing, hey, it's going to snow, but once it really comes down and it sticks, it's kind of a different experience.
Yeah, that was my freshman year, so I was a student. I was on a West End campus, if you're familiar with the campuses at ECU. So it was a great time on campus then. This year there wasn't as many people out. At my apartment complex, it's not really a student living, so it was just me and my roommates out this time. But freshman year, it was like a whole environment. It was a whole group. Everyone was collectively friends at that point because you're not used to seeing that in North Carolina. So it was just a great event freshman year. And then this time, it's fun to have fun with roommates, and I'm sure everyone did the same, in my age group. And then on campus, I'm sure it was a great time again as well.
So I saw Barstool ECU, this was like last night, an hour after it started snowing. They'd already posted videos of, people having trucks out in the snow, sledding, and all that sort of stuff. I'm just like, I enjoy it. We want to enjoy it, guys, or I get that we want to enjoy it. Let's just stay safe a little bit. I don't know. As a parent now, I took my 3-year-old and 1-year-old out in the snow this morning at 8 a.m. sharp. So I was tired. I'm not a morning person. So that I was groggy, but they were into it. So I don't know. Just you got to stay safe out there, Dom, because it can get dangerous on the roads.
Yeah, it probably wasn't the smartest thing that my roommates and I walk over to Cookout at midnight, 12:30 to at least see if they're open. And luckily we lucked out. They were open, and they were not thrilled to see us. They didn't think they were going to see anyone throughout the night, but they saw us, and they saw a crowd after us. So we kind of started a riot at Cookout because nowhere else was giving away any type of food, and people were hungry.
Hey, well, at least you walked and you didn't drive, so you don't have to worry about that. And yeah, I'm sure they weren't happy with you blowing up their spot. But, man, hey, guys got to eat, man. You got to do what you got to do. Especially and where else are you going to eat at 12:30?
Yeah, no, if you don't have leftovers, you're done for. There's actually a lot of people on the road, surprisingly. There was at 12:30, I saw a lot more people than I was expecting.
So Dominic Kasolki filling in, Kenny Curlin's weighing in on our YouTube chat. Yeah, feel free to share your experiences, anything in the snow. Kenny Curlin says 50-plus days until spring. Chuck says, way to go, Dominic. So good job, Dom. You're getting a shout-out already.
Let's go. Getting the shout-out for
Colors.
Don't know what,
but just being here,
yeah,
man.
just making it
living life.
to the studio. I'm the only one here. I mean, it's just me and you, and you're back at home. I'm happy you didn't have to drive in
the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's Michael behind me. But.
Okay. Michael Basumi, he's always at the studio. He sleeps there, so he's doing his thing. So shout out to, while we're speaking of shout outs, to the ECU creative team. I don't know if you saw it, Dom, all the post about Dowdy Ficklin Stadium in the snow. I know I was talking with some players' parents. A lot of the players from the team last night were hanging out at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium on the field, getting some shots across, of the stadium covered in snow, which is pretty rare.
Yeah.
And cool panoramic, with the drone on social media. So I thought all that stuff was very well done. And it's crazy to see across college football, like LSU Stadium in Baton Rouge shared a post about, LSU shared a post about their stadium being covered. So it's like Louisiana to Florida, down in Texas. Rare to see these places covered in snow, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, I'm loving it. I saw Dowdy Ficklin, but I haven't seen around other places. But I'm sure my social media feed is going to be full of snow everywhere, and it's just a great time for everyone to come together.
Dominic Kasolki with us. All right, ECU basketball, Dom, got a win last night, 85-76 at Tulsa. ECU entered the American in 2014 as an athletics program. This marks the first time they have won both legs of a road trip back-to-back. Now, they have won back-to-back road games in conference play, I think, 2 times, but not where they were playing back-to-back on the road. So, a home game was mixed in between, or they went on, they won a road game, a couple home games, and then went back on the road and won a game. So, this is the first time they've won back-to-back road games, winning at Wichita State, winning at Tulsa. East Carolina pulls it out 85-76. The end of this game was something to behold, one way or another. ECU, they were losing by 12 early in the second half, and they came back. They were up by 7. Then they were up 66-60 inside of 4 minutes to play, they were going to win it comfortably. And I wrote post-game in my article, there was just a range of emotions, Don. It was I know you said you watched some of it.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that in a minute. ECU, they were going to lose it, and they were going to win it. And then Tulsa comes back with a 7-0 run. They take the lead. R.J. Felton hits a clutch 3 to give East Carolina a lead. Then they get the stop. They get the rebound with 3-4 seconds left. R.J.'s going to the line up to, you think you're going to win the game.
Yep.
Instead, correct me if I'm wrong, this is about when you turned it off, correct?
Yeah. Well, I'm not the one with ESPN Plus in my roommate household, and he turned it off, so I didn't really have a decision. So I watched what I could. So
your roommate turned it off. You were assuming ECU had won the game.
I mean, that's another big RJ clutch 3. I'm loving it.
And the way he knocked it down was so smooth too. He just calmly stroked it. So that was big.
Confident with it.
Unfortunately, RJ missed the front end of the 1-on-1 free throw, which is that's all right. 2 seconds left. The chances of them making a shot are slim, although possible. Jordan Riley and I think C.J. Walker or another player were on the block trying to get the rebound. Riley hits at the ball. Unfortunately, when he does that, he kind of clocks the Tulsa guy in the face. Foul is called, and Tulsa goes to the line. They make 2 free throws to tie it. So we had a lot of discussion why put those guys on the line in that situation. I can see both sides of it when you're up 2, but we'll start there, Dom. You just got to be smart. Jordan Riley had a fantastic game. He'd be the first to say he's got to be smart there. He's scored a career-high 27, but you just can't foul in that situation under any circumstance, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you're gonna be put down there, you got to be smart with what you're doing. Obviously, there's only 2 seconds left, so if they get the rebound, just play your game. I mean, he's a great defender. He's shown that throughout the entire year. Just play your game, stay in front of him, make him take a tough full court shot. Don't go up and foul him and give him 2 freebies to go to overtime. It just didn't make sense.
Yeah, it was a tough circumstance, and Riley felt terrible about it, I'm sure, and redeemed himself in overtime, which we'll get into. All right, so Tulsa ties it. That's one thing. ECU gets a chance to inbound it. You can probably hear my dogs barking in the background. They're
Yep.
very upset about the situation as well. ECU inbounds the basketball, and it tips off, I want to say, R.J. Felton's hands. Tulsa had also tipped it out. They review that. Ball stays with East Carolina. ECU gets a chance to inbound it again, and on the ensuing inbounds, ECU tries to throw it the length of the court with 1.2 seconds. I don't remember the exact time, 1 point something. Ball doesn't touch anybody and goes out of bounds under the ECU basket on the other end of the court. So that means Tulsa gets to inbound the ball in front of their bench with a chance to win the game. They get it to their big guy in the paint who's being doubled by, he's 6'9". He's being doubled by Cam Hayes, who's 6'1", 6'2", and R.J. Felton, who's 6'3". He gets the ball, shoved off on R.J. Felton, by the way. It wasn't called, but regardless, has a point-blank shot, missed it. So it goes to OT. So, I tweeted, and look, ECU won the game. But I said, this is an absolute clinic on how to blow a game in the final seconds. So, If anything, Dom, if you're going to throw the length of the court there, make sure you at least tip the ball out of bounds instead of just – you can't give them the ball at their goal with a chance to win it. So, Pirates very fortunate to win based on how the end of regulation played out.
Yeah, if you tip the ball there, it at least, takes those, 1.2 seconds off the clock, and you most likely are just going into overtime. But I don't know if it's just me watching ECU basketball, but it feels like at some points we're like one of the greatest. We can go on a run where we're on like a 14-0 run, and we look unstoppable. And then after a media timeout, we come out and we look like, a bottom-ranked D1 team. We forget how to play basketball. It's a scoring drought. And at the end of game scenarios, we see that. We see great plays, and then we just see, mistakes made that shouldn't be made in D1 basketball. It baffles me sometimes.
I mean, that's why you're getting ECU. And again, this is a great stretch. They've won back-to-back road games, but this is why you lost to North Alabama and Gardner-Webb. You had some of those head-scratching stretches. And I think now this team is starting to figure out, hey, we're not a three-point shooting team, even though they've shot the ball better. So we've got to play our game, which is rebound, get to the paint, get fouled, defend, create fast break points. And they're doing a better job with that. But at the end of the day, you got to shoot the basketball. And they shot the basketball really well in the second half. You look at the second half box score, they shot 61% from the floor, including 50% from three-point range in the second half alone. And in overtime, 57% from the field goal range, and then 50% from three-point range, and 7 of 7 from the line in overtime. So, when you shoot, good things happen. And they've got 3 of the best players in the conference, Jordan Riley, R.J. Felton, and C.J. Walker. So, like on any given night, if 2 of those 3 are on, you're going to have a shot to win. Jordan Riley scores 7 in overtime. Huge play early in overtime, three-point play. Then he comes down and gets the another bucket or another couple free throws after getting fouled. So he kind of redeemed himself. But, I mean, the thing is with Riley and with Felton and Walker and even, Cam Hayes and Woodard, like they've got pieces to be a pretty good team. It's 100%. Just, how do you find that consistency? And maybe these 2 wins on the road kind of lead to that going forward.
Well, I obviously hope it leads to something going forward with more conference wins, because even the game in FAU, that was a winnable game. We've had multiple winnable games in conference, and I think it comes down to the guard play. Like you said, Jordan Riley and R.J. Felton, you need 2 of those guys to show up, but you're expecting those guys to show up. Cam Hayes recently hasn't shown what his talent level really is, and I think that 3 in overtime, even though he was 0 for 5 before he shot that 3 in overtime, and that made it a 7-point deficit. So at that point, that's a massive 3 to make. So if he can start getting
was winding down too.
Yeah, if he starts to get his confidence up and he starts making threes, I mean, we need that 3-point shot. As much as we know we're not a 3-point shooting team, if Cam Hayes can start knocking down his threes, even if he's not shooting, 50% from the field, start knocking down 36% of your threes. It's going to start getting him in a rhythm. And they're going to have to start contesting his 3-point shot. It's going to open up the floor for everybody because, like you said, we've seen Jordan Riley, R.J. Felton, and C.J. play good throughout the year.
So big win for East Carolina. Again, back-to-back road wins in crunch time at Wichita, at Tulsa. They're now 11-9 overall, 3-4 in conference. And you kind of said it, Don. I mean, you look at the conference, they lost at USF on December 31st by 6, but that was a possession game at the end.
Yep.
FAU, they easily could have won. Lost by 2 at home. Had a great win against Temple, which as of now, Temple's only loss in conference is to ECU. honestly should have won at Memphis, or definitely could have won.
Yep.
And, the North Texas game here, they were in position to win that until they melted down in the last 8 minutes. So, every game they're in, you look at the upcoming schedule, they face USF this Saturday, at Temple, Rice, UTSA, you get UAB at home. Every night they're going to have a chance to win. I think it just, honestly, it's going to come down to the end of the game whether they make the plays or not at this point.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, it's different things each game. Like you said, that North Texas game, that was offensive rebounding for North Texas. They missed a free throw, got an offensive rebound, got a couple shots up, and then made a big three at the top of the key, and I think that totally changed the momentum in that game. And there's different things in each game. The Memphis game, Haggerty started going off. We let him get going. He's hit every shot from the free throw line. I mean, there's going to be different things each game, but each game we're in, so you got to clean up what you're doing at the end of the games and figure out ways to win. And we luckily we did it last night.
No doubt. Pirates win their second in a row on the road. All right. We'll get a break in. When we come back, we'll switch gears. We'll have our interview with Katon Houser. Now, full disclosure, this was from Tuesday before the snow fell. So we hit on some snow with him having spent a couple years at Michigan State. But when we come back, we'll start our interview. Katon Houser, ECU starting quarterback in studio. We'll be right back.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grill and feast.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Hallo, this is meine Auto. Und this is meine key. Und there is only one place I trust with meine key. Meine key car care. They even offer financing options, so I can fix now and pay over time. Ooh, I love financing. Und options. Und meine key. Und American cheese. Remember, I only trust meine key with meine key. Your one-stop shop for total car care.
At participating locations, subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payment required. See store for details. Meine key locations are independently owned and operated.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, Newbern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville, we've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
And cord, ABC Duck Calls, Avery Blinds, and Reel Grass. Greenville Marine has a great selection on banded waders, clothing, and much more. Everything you need for a successful duck hunt, all under one roof. So why go anywhere else? Head to Greenville Marine Outdoor Shop, just outside of Greenville on Marine Drive, beside Greenville Marine. Greenville Marine Outdoor Shop is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30, and Saturday, 8:30 to 12:30. Everything you need for duck hunting at Greenville Marine Outdoor Shop.
Jaggers is now open on Memorial
Sawyer's
Drive
Fun Park in Winterville is now open. With over 40,000 square feet of family fun, daily money-saving deals, and a full-service restaurant, Sawyer's Fun Park is guaranteed to have something the whole family will love. Test your ninja skills on our 2-story obstacle course or head over to one of our 5 rock walls and race your friends to the top. And when you've worked up an appetite in our laser tag arena or our one-of-a-kind ropes course, grab a table over at the restaurant and try our world-famous Southern Monster Fries. Reserve your spot today at SawyersFunPark.com and come join in on the fun.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Here there be pirates. Back to Hoist the Colors with Steve and I go. How good is this on 94.3 The Game?
Welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday edition of the program. Very excited to have our in-studio guest. He is East Carolina quarterback Katon Houser. Katon, we were talking, man, earlier. It was around this time last year we had you in like right after you were first getting here and getting used to everything. And first off, welcome in, but it's kind of crazy how fast a year can go, man.
Yeah, it flew by. I mean, it's been a whirlwind, but glad to be back and doing it again. So, yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, man, thanks for taking the time to come in. I know you're busy, and we're talking, had to move around some things with your schedule due to the working out and whatnot. So you got the cast on. I got to ask you, for those who don't know, we've reported on Hoist the Colors, obviously you had surgery.
Yeah.
Postseason. Update us on what the procedure was. What all happened there? Yeah,
so this all started back in like August. I was working out. I kind of tweaked it. Thought it was like just a sprain. Didn't really think it was anything, and then it didn't really get better. Got an X-ray on it. Saw there was a fracture in there, and then just kind of had the decision. They said it was chronic, so I guess I did it sometime last year, and it progressively got worse. And then I had a decision if I wanted to stick it out and play. Like I really didn't have that much pain in it, but it was a little uncomfortable. Or I could have got surgery on it. Could have been out 3 or 4 months, and just kind of where everything was at, I felt like it was good to kind of stick it out, just being available for the team whenever they needed me to be ready. And I feel like it worked out. I got my opportunity. And so, yeah, I got surgery after the season. I had a scaphoid fracture. They did a procedure on it. They realigned the bone, put a screw in it, bone grafted it. It was a pretty big procedure. But, yeah, now I'm just looking at staying in cast for a couple more weeks and start rehabbing it. So excited to get back and rolling pretty soon.
So how did, I had heard that, I guess it just, you kind of felt it when you throw, but it didn't really affect your throwing all that much. What was kind of your take as the guy who was trying to play through it?
Yeah, it was weird in the start because I didn't know how much I could push it to where I didn't want to make it worse. So it was kind of babying it a little bit. And then eventually I just got more confident with it, just understanding how much I can throw and how powerful I could throw with it. And then I just got more confident as it went on. It wasn't really that much like a painful thing. It was more just uncomfortable, and I was thinking about it. So the hardest part was just getting over it mentally. Right. And but yeah, I mean, I was able to push through it the whole season, so it was good.
Katon Houser in studio, East Carolina quarterback. And what's kind of the prognosis as far as getting the cast off and spring ball coming up? Do you expect to be able to participate in that?
It's not looking good right now, but it all depends on how I kind of recover. So if I have a good recovery, it heals quick, then I might have a chance to maybe later in spring. But it's kind of up in the air right now, so we'll see.
And you're still able to lift and all. We were talking about that, modified lifting to an extent.
Yeah, I still lift with the group, and I'm in there kind of doing what I can. I'm trying to still have a strong presence, even though I can't really do all the lifts in there. But yeah, I'm just trying to do as much as I can to still be a part of the team and all that kind of stuff.
We had Mike Siriano in here last week. He's intense, man. What's he like in the weight room?
He's awesome. I mean, the coaches are not around as much just because recruiting and stuff like that. So we need a guy kind of enforcing everything. And he's come in and really just taking this thing by the reins. He's really just been really good for us as far as just getting our weight back and just bringing everybody together and having a sense of discipline on the weight room. It's been really good for us.
Katon Houser with us. All right, so we're talking last year at this time, and we're talking about how you're trying to become a leader and all that, and that obviously happened, naturally to a degree with you kind of taking the starting job and running with it. We'll get into the success you had, but just, I mean, how much more comfortable are you going into year 2? You know what your role is, your place here, you know how to, maneuver around town. So how much more comfortable are you?
Yeah, it just kind of takes some of the stress out of it when you first get here and stuff. Just trying to understand, you want to fight for starting position, but also still getting adjusted to a new place, new classes, stuff like that, meeting new people. And I feel like just having a year here, meeting a ton of people, knowing my way around, being in the program for a year with the offense, I just feel a lot more confident, a lot less stress just going into the year, just knowing I can just go and get myself better. And just relax and have fun and play football.
John David Baker, you'll be going in the second year, under his offense. And, even if you don't participate in spring, you kind of know the ins and outs of it, so you can go through it mentally. How much does that help you, too? You're probably very comfortable with what's happening on the field right now.
Yeah, I mean, even if I don't participate in spring, just being able to be out in the field and also be somewhat of a coach is trying to help these young guys get adjusted and get this offense going. And just being kind of behind the scenes and kind of looking at different things, being on the sideline. Just kind of see it from a different view can also help as well, just getting mental reps. But we don't know, so I'll see where I'm at towards spring. But, yeah, just being ready for anything.
Katon Houser with us in studio. Appreciate his time joining us during a busy time. And you guys will get back. So this time of year, like you mentioned, coaches on the road, I think that's basically through early February. I want to say February 1st or 2nd. What will y'all be allowed to do, some stuff? I think the rules have changed the last few years with the ball, even going into spring practice, as a team.
Yeah, we're progressively just building. So right now it's just kind of working out every day. just kind of building that, and then we'll start getting conditioning, trying to get our bodies back running, and then eventually we'll get into OTAs where we start throwing out in the field, getting the routes on air, and then slowly build that into spring ball. So it's just a constant, just slow build up until spring ball. So yeah.
All this snow and ice, do you feel like you're back in Michigan with all this cold weather?
I had to pull out my old winter jackets out of the closet getting ready for it, so I was like, man, but it's cool. So hopefully, I kind of want to see it snow. I heard it's going to snow tonight or whatever, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm hoping so, man. It's like it's one of those things where we rarely get around here. I'm sure. How much did snow were you in Michigan for your couple years there?
It was like, I mean, I enrolled early out of high school, and I got there in January, and it was like I got off the plane, it was already like 6 inches of snow, and I'm like, where am I at right now? But it's like that for months, so I'm glad I'm out of that. But I mean, they already canceled our classes they said from 3 o'clock to 12 tomorrow. They already postponed class, so they're already getting ready for it. So we'll see. Yeah,
we'll see how it plays out. Katon Houser with us. I'd be remiss to ask you. So you obviously you grew up in Vegas originally.
Yes, sir.
So you're not just a California guy, but you're from the LA area, lived there, more the Anaheim, South LA area or whatever. So not right near the fires, but back home, just what's that been like with the fires and trying to deal with that to an extent?
It's been crazy. It was pretty devastating. I mean, after the bowl game, got the surgery, whatever, and then I flew home. So right when I flew home, they'd all just kind of got started. So just seeing, I have a couple friends up there that live up in that area, familiar with that area. But it was just crazy how that all went down. It just like timed up perfectly with the winds, and it was pretty devastating. I mean, I've friends and stuff. My cousin's a firefighter, and he has buddies that kind of heard stories and stuff like that. Just hearing stories, it's been crazy. But just sending my prayers for people out there. I mean, it's pretty devastating what's happening out there. So
you were telling me your family not in the immediate area, but obviously some smoke. Like how crazy was that?
I got in the backyard and you kind of look over in the distance, you can see smoke coming in. And, you can kind of see it in the distance, but yeah, I mean it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, no doubt. Well, hopefully everybody back there is continues to get better. It's just crazy, all those people losing their homes and
man.
Nothing you can really do about it with a disaster like that. It's Katon Houser with us in studio. Let's talk about the season, man. And first, I mean, look, you're as competitive as anybody. Originally, you didn't get the starting job, so I remember talking to you some through that, and like you seemed to handle it really well. Even though I'm sure like we had taught you'd put a ton of work into it. That was kind of your business. So like, how did you deal with that and not let it negatively affect you too much at that time?
I mean, that was the second time I went through that. I mean, I didn't get the starting job at Michigan State. I had to go through the same thing. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, I was upset. I wanted to win that job. I put everything I could into that job, trying to win it, and I didn't win. So I would be lying if I say I wasn't frustrated. I wasn't upset in the moment. But I can't let that affect me. I didn't let it affect me. I tried to stay the course, try to focus, talking with Coach Houston at the time and Coach Baker to seeing what I did wrong, what I could improve on, and how I can just better myself in the future to be a leader, still be a leader for the team, and when an opportunity comes to be able to seize it. So having those conversations with them and then just kind of looking myself in the mirror and kind of seeing what I needed to improve on, I feel like I really took a step just in my maturity, being able to go out and kind of handle with this, just sitting on the sideline watching, wanting so bad to go in the game, and just getting minimal opportunity early on in the season. And finally, during that bye week, got the chance, and I felt like everything I prepared for in the spring, throwing the guys early, working out, just making connections, everything I built was for that moment, and I just didn't want to pass it up. So I tried to take full advantage of it, and I feel like I did.
JDB always said even when you weren't the guy, like you were preparing as the guy. Like that's like kind of like the saying, like prepare like you're the starter even if you're the backup. But like truly you got to prepare that way because you can't just you can't just make up for all that lack of preparation if you're not preparing that way like the bye week. So how much did like taking all those reps seriously mentally, whether you get them on the sideline during the game or during the week of practice, like doing all that 100% help you when you finally got the job?
Yeah, it's just trying to get over mentally, just like knowing you're going to get ready for the game, but you might not be able to play. So just being able to go and practice and execute like you're going to go play in the game has been something I had to adjust to. But overall, I feel like my preparation didn't change much. Just it's the only thing that really changed was like in the hotel, like getting butterflies. Like, okay, you're going in the game. That was kind of like the only thing I had to get over. But as far as like preparation, watching film, reps, and practice, I felt like it was all very similar. Just had to be ready.
Obviously the Army game was your first start, and it just felt like the second half of that game, man. It just like kind of clicked for everybody, and at the time everybody was like, well, it was just it was a blowout, so this is probably just whatever. But looking back at it, that was kind of when it really started to roll for you guys.
Yeah, I wish I had that game back. I mean, that first half, it was so frustrating. We had so many things open. I missed a lot of throws. There was guys open, and the same thing happened in the second half. I just I felt like I just settled in. I kind of got the nerves down. Just realized let's go out and play. We started connecting. I mean, we put up some good offense in the second half, and I wish I brought that in the first half. I felt like we had a good chance to beat them. So hopefully we can run it back next year and get them back. So
no doubt, Army comes to Dowdy Fickle next season. I tell you what, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll talk about the second half of the season in detail here on Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday edition of the show.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligator.
And I'm his daughter,
burgers
Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and
loves
parking
a
lots for
thick,
both your residential and
fresh
commercial
burger.
needs. We also
Tiebreakers
offer free
does
on-site
real
quotes
burgers
to have
better
your
than
custom driveways
anybody.
built the way
And
you
don't
want.
forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more.
Looking for a great deal on a new Nissan? At Greenville Nissan, we've got a great selection of new Nissans for under $30,000. The stylish Nissan Sentra, offering top-notch fuel economy. The Nissan Altima, known for its comfort and technology. The Nissan Kicks, the perfect combination with its compact design and performance. The Nissan Versa, delivering incredible value without compromising on features. And don't forget the Nissan Rogue, an award winner for 10 years in a row. Drive it home just for $22 down, $349 a month. Visit GreenvilleNissan.com today. Greenville Nissan, where we drive, sir.
Dr. Billy Smith is board certified in physical medicine and lifestyle medicine and has been practicing in the area for many years. Dr. Smith has a passion for the people of Eastern North Carolina. Eastern Physical and Lifestyle Medicine specializes in helping patients with weight loss, diabetes, high cholesterol, and blood pressure management, among many other medical conditions. Eastern Physical and Lifestyle Medicine will guide your journey to live longer and live stronger. Let this be the year you focus on your health. During this period, new patients.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Tax credits are back. A 30% tax credit with up to $2,000 off your new Carrier heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Carrier ducted heat pump or non-ducted Carrier mini splits.
For 11
Ideal
years,
for bonus
we have
rooms,
quality
garages, or
driveways and parking
sunrooms.
lots
In
for
need
both
of a
your
new
residential
HVAC
and
unit?
commercial
Turn
needs.
to the experts
We
at
also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
What's happening?
Tell me what's happening. Every ECU fan's one stop for all things ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday edition of the show. We've got Katon Houser, East Carolina quarterback, in studio. Katon, we were talking about the second half of the season. You get your first start at Army, and then you guys come back. I guess it was another bye after the Army game.
Yeah.
It feels like so long ago now, but it really wasn't that long ago. It's crazy how time flies. Then y'all go into the contest, and after that, obviously, Mike Houston was let go. And I guess so. Maybe Mike used to let go. Y'all played FAU, and then or Temple, and then had a bye. That's what it was.
Yep.
Gosh, so much happened. Interesting situation where like the second year in a row, man, you're on a team, and your coach gets let go mid-season. So like on one hand, you were kind of used to dealing with it, but I mean, just kind of crazy how that worked out. So just your emotions at that time had to be kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I literally felt like I was having deja vu, like how it all went down. Like coach got fired, bye week, getting the start, and it literally just I had that experience before, so I knew like what I did wrong before, just being able to try to keep the team together as much as possible, and that was my goal at that moment was Obviously, it's my turn to play, and I want to focus on getting myself ready to play. But my goal now is, like, I want to keep this team together as much as possible. Try to keep the guys on offense at least stuck together. And focus on the same goal because we had a good chance to go. We knew we had the pieces to go play and go win this, go to a bowl game and stuff like that. We just had to go execute. So that was my goal, just going in and trying to execute as much as possible.
And that had to be like a really weird time because you had finally, like you said, gotten your shot. And I remember us talking, like, Mike Houston was a big reason why you came here, kind of y'all's vision, kind of aligned during your recruitment process. And it was like, all right, you finally felt like you found something in that second half. All right, now my coach is getting fired. So it could have gone one of two ways. Mm-hmm. And I guess how much did Blake, the way he stepped in, really kind of rally the troops as well?
Yeah, I just kind of felt like we were just going on the same path. We'd go into a game, make mistakes, lose the game, and then we just felt like the same cycle over and over again. And I just felt like we couldn't get over the hump, just finishing out those games. And then when Coach Harrell made the switch and he was the coach, I just felt like we were able to go out with a different type of energy, kind of play more loose, play more free, kind of open up the offense a little bit. And then we kind of fed off each other. I mean, offense was feeding off defense, and even special teams was feeding off each other. And I just felt like it allowed us to play more free and even finish those games. Like, we had really, really strong belief in each other to go win those games. So, and then also just the build up for momentum. I mean, from that second half Army game, I just felt like it just spilled over to Temple and it spilled over to FAU. And then even when I don't play as well, like in a Tulsa game, I had teammates around me that are bought in, and we all trust each other. Where if I'm not having such a good game, someone can, like Rajay, can go make an 86-yard whatever run and win the game for us, or and we can just kind of help each other in that end. So I felt like we just really were working, just really like together as a team, and that's what all credit to Coach Harrell and stuff like that. He did a really good job just keeping all of us together.
Temple, FAU, those back-to-back home games, and obviously the offense put up big numbers, including yourself. I think 10 touchdowns or something during those two games.
Those are fun stretch 2 games for
sure.
Sure.
I mean, there was one week you were like number 1 in QBR nationally, which had to be pretty awesome. And did like anything change with the offense, or was it just like you said, like y'all playing more free and just connecting? Like it seemed like early in the season when you weren't the quarterback, like there were those plays there, but maybe not capitalizing. I don't know.
I just felt like we just clicked. I don't know what it was. It's something unexplainable. We kind of had a spark. And I just felt like the run game started hitting. We were starting to air the ball a little bit more, and I just felt like it kept building. We kept feeding off each other, and it's like we can do anything we want to any team we want. And we just had that belief, and I feel like eventually we just got to the point where it's like we can go out and do anything we want. So that's what we did.
How much does your confidence grow during that time? Because to me, like talking to you, you've never like lacked confidence, but it's got to be like pretty uplifting when you go out there and put up those type of numbers, and like everything you kind of visualized actually played out.
Yeah, it's just from the beginning of the season, it's like you're not the starter. Can I still do this? Especially, I took a step down, power forward down to AAC, and then not being able to start. Like, am I able to still do this? And then I go out and actually start and put up some good numbers and win some games. It's like, okay, I can do this. So it just kind of just building momentum and confidence for sure.
The deep ball with Anthony Smith in particular. I mean, obviously he made plays underneath too, but it's got to be pretty comforting to know you can throw it pretty far and know he's going to
I can just throw it up in the sky and just launch it, and he'll be down there. So that's a good feeling to have for sure.
How much do you work on, like, just the mechanics of the deep ball, like how much air to put in it? Like how much do you have to practice that specifically?
It's a lot. I mean, deep ball is very very specific as far as like mechanics. You don't want to flatten it out too much. You don't want to put too much air on it. You got to find like the sweet spot, and I feel like I found that just with Anthony. He's able to go down there, and I know where he's going to be at all times. And it took a little bit of adjusting to get used to, just like game speed and stuff like that. But that deep ball is very important. Just putting a lot of air on it, letting him go run under it.
The Tulsa game, you kind of mentioned it. Y'all, that was the first game y'all really faced adversity.
For sure.
And there's some huge moments in that game where like it looked like it may get away from y'all, and y'all come back as a team and win a game. To me, like being there, winning a game in that fashion, it's good to blow somebody up. But like winning like that, doesn't it kind of like, I don't know, it kind of means a little more?
It does mean a little bit more. It just shows how we can fight through adversity and stuff like that. That happened even in North Texas too, just fighting through adversity. And then even like me, like growing as a leader, I can lean on some of these guys. Like Rajay was such a good leader for us that I didn't really have to lead all the time. I could lean on some of these guys like Rajay and some of the linemen were able to pull each other together. So I just like the belief we had in offense and everything. It just allowed us to go win those games, either to blow out or go fight a comeback win or struggle if we're not playing as well offensively. I just felt like we were able to pull it out in some of those games. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun.
During that time, like how from your perspective, when did it start to feel real maybe that like, all right, we're winning some games with Blake. Maybe he can be the guy here, and we can keep this thing rolling.
I think it was after that North Texas game because the Tulsa game, like we got to a bowl game. We didn't really play that great. Had a strong finish at the end, and then that North Texas that we were down 21 points,
nothing, I think,
21 nothing, and then we go score at halftime, and I'm like, all right, here we go, and then we go rally and put up 40 something points, and just that feeling in the locker room, you could tell like, all right, we got something special here, and be able to go celebrate that, it was just really special. And from that point on, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure he's the head coach. So I try to talk to the guys and see like what could we do to help Blake out, and I don't know, it's been great.
Worked out pretty good for all parties, and obviously Blake is, such a class act to deal with. Couldn't be more happy for him, and just been gracious ever since he got the job, and well before that. Katon Houser with us, East Carolina quarterback. The weird week of the Navy week happens where, like, y'all, you introduce him in this. I'm not trying to make excuses for you guys, but like,
no.
There was a lot going on. Thanksgiving, short week, Navy had a bye. Y'all introduced Blake, not you, but the university does, 2 days before kickoff. So, like, it had to be a little bit different week. And I know you don't want to, like, use excuses, but the Navy game, they also play, like, probably the most complex defense in the league. So,
yeah,
a lot happening, and I don't know. There was just it just wasn't y'all's game, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not going to make excuses for that. I mean, we were prepared for it. We just didn't go out and execute. We weren't playing complimentary football. Offensively, we missed a lot of things. I missed some big throws in the game. I wish I could have back, but I got to put that one behind us.
And y'all did that. I mean,
yeah.
There was, say what you will, there were some doubters. Why do we name Blake the head coach after you lose one game, which is kind of ridiculous. But the bowl game, how quickly did you realize, all right, playing NC State's kind of a big deal when that game was announced?
Man, that was – I kind of see it like a week before kind of the line, and I'm like, there's no way we're going to play NC State. That's crazy. And we saw it, and I'm like, all right, here we go. So even we had the moment I knew is we had Coach Shank. He came in and talked with us in the bowl site, and he kind of gave us a whole backstory behind the NC State ECU rivalry, and that's when I knew, like, it got me fired up just seeing or hearing all that kind of stuff, what happened before and history behind it, and that's when I knew how special this thing was. So, and then even going out and going to Annapolis in that stadium, seeing how packed it was from the ECU side, we rallied that. So, I mean, it was really special playing in that game.
Awesome win. We'll get into the Rajay run in a little bit. So that did you know going in y'all were going to use your legs pretty good? Because that seemed to be a focal point. Yeah.
It was like the Monday before. He was like, all right, you better be ready to run. We had like 10 quarterback runs in. They had a tendency on film, just leading the quarterback going. They played a lot of man, and when they play man, no one really has a quarterback man. So those runs were available, and try to run as fast as I could. I can't really break off an 86-yard like Rajay, but I can do what I can. So
you showed the legs, and I'll be honest. So I was on the NC State podcast. They asked me, they were like, "Is Katon the type of quarterback where NC State needs to account for his legs?" I'm like, "Nah, like he can run a little bit, but he'll be fine." And I guess I may have helped y'all get some extra running lanes. All right, so the thumbs down thing.
Okay,
what's the deal with that?
So the movie Gladiator.
Yeah,
he goes like that, and those thumbs. We had our team, Coach Harrow, before the game, we went. Everyone went to the movie theater. We saw Gladiator too.
Okay.
So that was kind of like a if you know type thing, inside joke type thing, because we all saw Gladiator. So I was like, I'm gonna do it before I just thought of it, and I'm like, that seems pretty cool, so I'll do it.
It worked out pretty well.
Yeah,
pretty cool. I just got a lot of questions on it. So I figured that's what it was for.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then to win that game in the fashion y'all did, specifically with Rajay. Fifth-year senior who, busted his tail here from day one to the end of his career. What was that moment like, seeing it unfold as, first off, you handed the ball off on 3rd and 10, which had to be a little weird, but seeing that run happen?
I could say confidently that was, like, my best football moment I've ever been a part of. I mean, not me throwing a touchdown, not me running the ball, handing the ball off to Rajay and seeing that run go all the way down, that was the craziest thing I've ever been a part of. Just especially like their tendencies on that 3rd and long, even with me running, they were good enough runs on 3rd and long. So even on 2-minute drill, like, all right, let's just try to get some yards, get out of bounds, run it to the boundary. And then when he popped, I mean, I put my hands on my head. I was in shock. I could not believe it. I wasn't even celebrating. I was like in denial that just happened. But it was just a crazy moment. And then winning the game, rushing the field. I mean, it was the best thing I've ever been a part of. So
that was your first bowl game, right?
First bowl game, first bowl win. So I got a lot accomplished that game.
Pretty awesome for sure. Yeah. And it was kind of obviously not the best weather night to throw the ball. But still, like, you made some great throws, and they made some great plays defensively on a couple. Like, the one to Yannick, I was like, that's a great throw. And
I mean, it's 50-50 ball. I kind of put a little bit inside. He made a great play. I mean, there's not much I can do about that one. So, yeah.
And it was like, I don't know, it was just one of those, even with the weather, though, you relish playing in that environment?
Yeah. I mean, no. I mean, my first start, I started at Rutgers in the pouring rain, so I've played in it before. It didn't really bother me much. It's just we knew most of our game plan was going to be run the ball, and then especially quarterback runs too. I feel like that was most of our game plan. So, yeah, it's kind of stuck with it.
Obviously, next year y'all play them again.
Yeah, first game of the year.
At NC State. So, I don't know. When do you start? It's way too early to start looking at the matchup, but, like, just thinking about it, I don't know.
I'm thinking about it right now. Yeah. I'm trying not to think about it too much, trying to focus on the day-to-day, but I can't stop thinking about it, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it too. Like, even though you're not from this part of the country, as Vegas and California guy, like, to me, like, since day one, you even shared the picture of you, like, with the pirate background, which was pretty awesome. Like, to me, like, you're already embracing, you have from day one embraced being a pirate.
Yeah.
Like, bought into the culture here, the history of it. You've done, research on the traditions. Like, how much does that mean to you, being a part of that game and, building your legacy here?
I mean, this has been a blessing to be able to come here. I feel like I've really bought into the culture and everything about ECU. It's a really special place. Just being a part of it it's been really good. I'm so happy to be a pirate. I mean, there's not much I can say. This has been a blessing to be here. So,
and I don't want to speak for other opportunities out there, but I mean, let's be real. Like, college football, the portal. I'm sure if you didn't get calls, your family got calls. So, like, why is ECU? Why do you want to stay here and not go somewhere else and play somewhere else?
I mean, it's just finding a new place. You have to start over again and find new people and meet new people and start over again. And I didn't want to be a part of that. And I felt like I had something special here. And I feel like we're just starting something here. I still have 2 years left of eligibility. I had a really good thing going with JDB. A lot of the receiver stuff stayed. Ant stayed. DeCirio stayed. JC stayed. A lot of these guys that I've been throwing to stayed. So I feel like just building off what we had last year is something I want to be a part of. And again, I'm so bought into this community and this fan base and everything about ECU I just love. So why would I go anywhere else?
Katon Houser with us. A few more minutes with you, Katon. We'll get you out of here. So your goals this offseason, along with obviously rehabbing the wrist, getting that back to 100%, what are your big individual team goals you've kind of set out?
I mean, yeah, just obviously rehabbing, getting back. And then some of these leaders are left too, like Rajay's gone now. Some of the linemen are gone that were leaders. So trying to do as much as I can to be a presence in the locker room. Try to get these young guys adjusted and getting ready for this offense and playing the game and stuff like that. And then, yeah, just trying to keep everyone together and keep on the focus on the main goal and just trying to go just focus and get better every single day.
You've added several receivers in the portal. A lot of young guys with talent, too, on the roster. I was doing, like, some roster research. I have a lot of young guys I think could step up and be pretty good. But, like, how important is it to get, as the offseason develops, that chemistry and the connection down, not only on the field but off the field, that, build that trust we've talked about in the past?
Yeah, just going up, like I said this last year, my goal is to learn everybody's name, and I feel like that's my goal this year too, is just go out and all these new transfers, new freshmen, try to go learn everybody's name, learn something about them. And especially the receivers, we have a really young receiver group, so getting these transfers now a little bit older, just a little more experience in the group, I feel like it's just going to make us a lot better.
When you look at your game as a quarterback, like, obviously you completed a high number of passes, you put up some huge numbers. Like, are there any individual things you want to work on there? I'm sure you're always trying to improve, but, like, anything you've pinpointed, say, hey, I want to get better at A, B, C this offseason?
Yeah, for sure. Number one is turnovers for sure. I feel like just a little bit loose with the ball. Some things just schematically I could fix, and then also just hold on to the football. That's kind of like one of the biggest things. And also staying consistent offensively, making consistent decisions, and then not having a lot of fluke plays, just kind of clean that stuff up. And then offensively, just clean up the penalties and all that kind of stuff. I feel like we can improve on that.
That was, looking back at the NC State game, like, y'all had been an explosive play offense for a lot of the big offensive games. Y'all had like, 50, 60-yard touchdowns. That game, y'all, obviously the Rajay play helped, but, I mean, it was like 12, 13 plays. Y'all were marching down the field. And that kind of shows y'all can be diverse offensively, like not only relying on the big play, but can also drive down, make 5-7 yards at a time.
Yeah, just trying to be versatile on offense, not being a one-trick pony, not be able to just be able to go take explosive plays. Like, we can go march the ball down the field and go score. So being able to do all that kind of stuff just keeps the defense on their toes. But yeah.
All right, Katon Houser with us. So you went to we both went to a Chili Peppers concert last summer. You got any fun things planned this summer, or is it too early to know?
It's too early, but I definitely want to go to another concert. I'm not sure where I want to go yet, but that Chili Peppers concert was awesome. It was a great time.
Yeah. So you went to Virginia Beach,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yeah.
Yeah, so good spot. I'm a big Chili Peppers guy. What else do you like to do in your free time, man, when you're trying to get away from football?
I like to golf. I've been getting into golf recently. I'm not that good, but I'll go out there and play. So, yeah, I like spending time with friends, doing that. But, yeah, that's kind of just hanging out with the guys.
So golfing, are you, like, better off the tee or putting? What's your strength?
Neither, honestly.
I mean, you just like getting out there.
Yeah, I just like getting out there and having fun.
I understand that. What do you think about the AFC NFC Championship? Any favorites, or are you just pulling for a good football game?
I'm pulling for a good game. I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs win, to be honest with you.
I'm with you there, man.
I was pulling for the Lions. I'm not gonna lie. I thought the Lions were gonna do it, but I mean they couldn't get it done. So yeah, we'll see.
It is what it is. All right, Katon. Well, hey, man, we appreciate the time in studio. Rest up that wrist.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Keep on rehabbing. But proud of you, man, the season you had. I know you put a lot of work into it, man.
Appreciate
so I'm
it. Thank
happy
you so
for
much.
your success.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for coming in, making some time for us on Hoist the Colors. All right, we'll be right back on a Wednesday edition of the show.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed, meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
This holiday season, get the gift you really want at Greenville Toyota. It's our holiday trade-up. Drive a new Corolla, just $229 a month, or a new Tacoma, only $329 a month, during the holiday trade-up at Greenville Toyota.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Hey, on the mountain we've got a saying. Get off your... Show off.
Mountain Dew.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Everybody loves tiebreakers.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master. Unwrap a new Toyota for the holidays at Greenville Toyota. It's our holiday trade-up. Get a new Camry, $269 a month, or a new RAV4, $329 a month. Trade up and save at Greenville Toyota.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout Eastern North Carolina. You get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
We're live with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Hoist the Johnny Roger!
Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday, January 22nd edition of the program. Thanks again to Katon Houser for taking the time to come in studio. Great interview there. It'll be archived on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Just a couple of minutes left in the show, so I want to continue our ECU baseball roster rundown. We'll get to one player here before we wrap up. We're doing this on a daily basis to introduce you to a new-look ECU baseball team. Yesterday, we did Keenan Bowman and Dixon Williams, number 0 and number 1, on the roster. Now we're going to do number 2. His name is Roger Vergara. Now, who is Roger Vergara? Roger Vergara is a projected second baseman, middle infielder, but primarily a second baseman. He was one of the top junior college recruits. nationally out of St. John's River State College, which I believe in the past has produced some East Carolina greats such as Reed Love. If you know ECU baseball, you remember him as a standout pitcher. Between both Godwin head coaches, Roger Vergara from Florida, St. Thomas Aquinas High School, which is one of the top prep programs pretty much for any sport in the country. At St. John's River State College, Vergara last season hit .356. He is a left-handed hitter. 46 runs scored, 10 doubles, 5 homers, 45 RBI, 25 walks, 4 stolen bases. So watched him in the fall, He was a guy who, good bat, you could see the juice. I think he's adjusting some to the Division I level, but as a left-handed hitting infielder, good frame, I think he will make an impact on this ECU baseball team. May not start on opening day, but expect him to be a bat and an infielder that contributes in time. So Roger Vergara, the latest in our ECU baseball roster rundown. All right, Dominic Kasolki, I know we're about out of time. That means I can't mess with you too much regarding the Minnesota Vikings, so we'll have to save that for another show. But appreciate your work today, man.
Yeah, thank you. I was wondering when it was going to come, if it was going to come at all. I heard it on Patrick's show. I was expecting to hear it here at some point. So, I mean, we both felt some first-round losses. Maybe ours might have hurt a little more. I mean, who's to say? It's just 14 wins and losing first round is pretty depressing. So, it is what it is.
Well, hey, we'll get more into it when we get you back on soon enough. But, again, appreciate you today for stepping up. Best of luck to Philip with his first call. Again, check him out, 2 o'clock, ECU Women's Basketball. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 noon on Hoist the Colors.
This has been Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo. Tune in weekdays at noon for all things ECU sports. Get a recap of the show at 943thegame.com, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere you get your podcasts. We're back tomorrow with more of Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.